say welcome. Welcome to the Lion's Den. I know a couple of guys were shooting me a couple messages. They're like, yo, Jay, we got to get on. So we're going to let a couple of minutes go by so we can get a couple of more Lions on board, because today is going to be a very interesting, very different type of approach. The guys that are going to slowly start to join. And while we start to set the precept today, I want to just be able to get this clear. Last week was very powerful. Last week was something that I took away, and I got a lot of messages from last week's call. Last week's call was all based around being in the boxing ring. You see, it's the fight against yourself. The losers in the world are fighting against other people. But what you look into the mirror every single morning and fight for and fight against, that's the most important. And we dove very deep into that. Then we started to understand controlling your day, because controlling your day is a big difference. There's 24 hours. There's 1,440 minutes. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. You got to control it. You got to be in control of your time. And then we dive into the mental game. And when I say mental game, I'm talking about this up here. I'm talking about peak mental state. Peak mental state. And to take it one step further, I'm going to bring another word in: performance. And that's why you're going to hear from somebody very powerful that knows exactly what peak mental performance means in a couple of minutes here. Because today's not about me. Today's not about me. Today's not about just all the other lions. Today's about bringing in a lion that already has the ambition and understanding. And we're going to get there. But before we do, I always like to preset. I always like to make sure that we know the intention, because if we get clear with our intention, then our results follow. So if we get clear with our intention of why we are showing up on a Lion's Den call, it helps us and understand what's next. And of course, we do it because of three simple words. Three simple words: brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. You see, brotherhood is the bond between men. The only time you look down at another man is when you're picking him back up. The blessings are from above, because God has a plan for each and every single one of us. And the more that I'm understanding our King Jesus, I'm more understanding of how powerful those blessings can be. And of course, the breakthroughs. The breakthroughs may be something I say today. It may be something another lion shares today. But be open, be receptive, put the ego aside. We don't care if you're the CEO or if you're a janitor. It don't make a difference on your title. What matters is that you show up. You show up and you believe in yourself. And that's what we want to portray here today on the Lion's Den. And before I get that going, speaking of a lion, this is where I get to, not necessarily always take the floor. This is where this year in 2025, I've really taken the consideration of bringing the right lions on the call. Lions that are outside of me, lions that are above me, bigger, stronger, faster than I am. Bringing them on board to give more experience, more education, more limelight to what we may be fearing. So today, I wanted to introduce a man. And this man is not just one of 5 national trainers for the man himself, Tony Robbins. He is not only just, before he even got with Tony Robbins, he was in the Air Force. He did many years in the Air Force before he got to work alongside one of the most powerful coaches that we know to date, Mr. Tony Robbins. But even after that, expanding his speaking abilities now to not only just North America, he's out in Asia, he's out in Europe, he's doing what the global play is called for. And my favorite part about this is that he is truly inspiring people to be the best versions of themselves. Gentlemen, we all need to be better versions of ourselves each and every single day. Doesn't matter where you're at. But when you have a man that's willing to pour in that type of energy and knowledge, wisdom based on his experience and everything he's done, I would like us all lions to welcome and put our hands together right now to welcome Mr. Scott Gass in the house. Let's go.
What's up, Jay? Hey, thank you, Jay. What's up, Lions? How's everybody doing out there? Before we get going, can we give Jay a little bit of virtual love for setting this up? He was absolutely amazing. Let's get a little bit of virtual love out there. What's up, Billy? Hey, JC, Felipe. Hey, Joe. How you guys doing today? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So my name is Scott Goss. I'm actually a trainer for Tony Robbins. And what we're going to do today, man, is we're going to give some massive value. And before I get going real quick, I got a question for you. Do you think everything you want in your life, everything, the joy, the happiness, the woman, the money, the travel, the contribution, do you think that's an outside game, or what do you think, Billy? You think it's maybe an inside game in there? What do you think? Give me some get inside. What do you think, Joe? 100% inside game. So what we're going to do today, we're going to cover some tips and strategies and a massive value that you can take today to put in your personal life, your business life, to be able to perform more and be that peak performer that Jay's talking about. However, as we know in life, everything, right? What you put into anything is a direct reflection of what you get back. Same for our time today. So if you get some energy, so if you can see me out there, video camera on or not, maybe just loosen up the body a little bit. I know it's late for some people in the world. I have a baby sleeping over here. There's always reasons. Loosen up the body. And here's what we want to do. When you're on a training like the Lions did, there's actually massive value. Do you want to sit back in your chair? Do you want to be on the edge of your seat? You want to be like a lion, right? Be able to prance on the prey. You're in the hunt every single day. So if you want to play for a while, maybe sit about with your shoulders up, shoulders back, chest out, take some notes, and let's rock out tonight, guys. So let's have some fun and get some great value. We're gonna have a little participation. So here's what we got going on, my friends. I'm gonna give you two strategies that you can take away to be able to actually master the way you show up and master your energy and to get in peak state. Also, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about what we call the gap. I mean, as we know, smart people, if you're here and you want to go here, there's something you need to do different, because you do the same, you're going to get the same result. And most of us on this call, you're here tonight, I'm assuming we want some outstanding results. So what we're going to do, let's jump into it and have some fun. So what we want to do here, we're going to cover what we call peak performance, and we're going to cover a real three-step strategy that you can actually put into your business tomorrow when you're making phone calls, when you're selling, when you're showing up with your woman, your kids, anytime in life, you want to show up 120% to be able to perform. Here's what you do. So I got it behind me if you want to take some notes. Number one, we're going to focus on what we call is our state. And when we talk about state in the Tony Robbins world, we're talking about our emotional state and how you feel. And what we know, gentlemen, is this. You feel good. If you could feel good all the time, what would we do? We'd be going to the gym. We'd be kicking ass. We'd be taking names. We'd be making phone calls all day, selling with confidence and certainty. But what happens for most of us, we don't control the way we feel. But as men, as we know, is this. Who controls the way we feel? Who controls the way we feel, Jay? Every single day. Who's that person? It's up to us, right? Our actions we take or don't take is up to us. But most people out there don't get what they want because simply sometimes they say what? I don't feel like it. I don't feel like making that phone call. I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like being on right now. But guess what? You control the way you feel. So here's what we're going to do. To master your state, we teach at Tony Robbins, and I'm going to give you this. And it's just a real tip, iceberg right now, but you can go deeper. And the word is called triad. So if you want to write this in your notes, TRIAD, and I'll put it behind me real quick. And the way to be able to master the way you feel is three simple things, three simple modalities. Number one is going to be our physiology, or how we feel. Stanford University said 80% of how you feel every single day is two simple things, team. It's going to be our sound that we hear around us and also movement, right? So number one, very important, and I want you to write this in your notes. Write this down, Felipe. Physiology is everything. Physiology is everything. What physiology simply is how you're actually moving your body, how you're showing up every single day. As we know as smart people, if there's a depressed person on the other side of the wall, how are they showing up, team? Head and shoulder what? Head and shoulders up? Or what do you think, Billy? Head and shoulders down, right? If you're actually feeling down. Voice up if you're feeling down, voice down, right? We know if someone calls you in your life and they're like giving you the story that, oh, it's tough, it's down, I'm depressed, most likely that person is laying on the couch or laying on the bed in a horrible state. So here's what you got to do to be a big performer. We got to move the body, right? So every single day, move the body. Give me a thumbs up out there if you go to the gym. Who goes to the gym out there? Give me a thumbs up out there. Once a month doesn't count, team. Once a month doesn't count. How about every single day, right? Here's my tip for you guys. Move the body every single day. It could be 10 minutes of just bouncing, right? It could be 10 minutes of a rebounder, 10-minute walk, maybe 200 push-ups a day to get the body moving. And here's what we know. when we change your physiology, that is the fastest way to be able to control the way you feel and get yourself in a higher vibration, a higher state to go out there and perform at the level you know you can do, right? So number one is be able to master that physiology, always be able to get in great state, shoulders back, heads up, ready to go. Number two, when we talk about physiology, let's actually put in sound. How many people out there love music? Give me a thumbs up if you love music out there in the world, right? Unbelievable, right? Who has a fight song? Anybody have a fight song? Jay, you got one. You have a fight song? What's your fight song?
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. Can't go wrong. Eye of the Tiger, right? AC/DC, maybe old school, Metallica, Eminem, One Shot. Use music to make yourself feel good. So if you're in a high performance situation in business and sales, I would use music driving to a presentation, driving to a meeting. Before you're making phone calls, get that eye of the tiger, get yourself fired up beyond belief, ready to be able to tear down the walls. You walk into a meeting, what's going to happen is your energy will settle in, but you're going to be at a higher state of awareness, a higher energy than 90% of competition because no one does this, right? So when we talk about physiology, number one, movement, number two, sound. Very, very important, very easy to do. Also, as we know, very hard, easy not to do as well, right? So also, when we talk about our triad back here, number one is physiology. Number two is an amazing thing, is what we call focus. And if you ever heard Tony Robbins out there, you probably heard the simple statement, right? Where you focus on expands, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? But the question is, who controls our focus? And as you probably guessed it, you know you control your focus, right? And what you simply do, very, very important, what you focus on usually expands, and what you focus on, you get, and also what you focus on becomes your reality. And you know people out there, we all know people out there who focus on, you know what, the opportunity, the gifts, the gratitude, the great things in life. And we all know people who focus on what is wrong, what is not working, and what is actually not going their way, right? But again, you control your focus. So here's how it goes. Here's the gift. The gift is this. The best way to control the way you feel, stop a negative pattern, stop a negative emotion, is to be able to ask yourself what we call a power question. And a power question is a question that I've used for about 18 years. And I tell you, men, when you have this power question, it will be a game changer. You can teach your kids, maybe your wife, hopefully your wife, your kids, your loved ones. This power question is a game changer. And here's how it goes down. A power question is simply this. What can be great about this experience? You're going through your day. It's a great day, but how many people have had a great day and then all of a sudden the shit hits the fan? We ever had that before where you lose a deal, lose a contract, things don't work out, right? The average man, the average male, the average performer out there, what do? They go into woe's me mode. They may ask themselves the wrong question. Here's what we do when we think. We ask ourselves a wrong question. For example, how did I screw this up? Why doesn't it go my way? Why doesn't it work out for me? And what we do unconsciously, we ask ourselves a disempowering question. We have a disempowering answer. We say, well, you know, maybe it was, I'm not that smart. I didn't follow up. I didn't follow through. I didn't lock in the deal, whatever it may be. But you, us, lions, what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to live on the power question side. So you're going through your day. The shit hits the fan. You lose the deal. You lose the contract. You get an argument with the wife, with the girlfriend, right? Here's what you do. You automatically go to power mode and you ask yourself a power question. And I challenge you today to be able to start creating a power question, right? And using it today. And here's a couple I've used. What's great about this experience? That covers everything, pretty much. You lose a contract, you lose money, you lose a bet, you lose a deal. What's great about the experience? Another thing you do is be able to say, okay, what can I learn from this experience? How can I make sure it never happens again? How can I be able to break through? Doing that, team, having that power question is going to be able to put you in a frame, a perspective of opportunity, of being able to take it, think about what you did wrong, and move it on and have a powerful day and be able to maximize your experience of life. So, number one, physiology, standing strong, listening to great music, dancing, moving, getting the body moving to get in power state. Number two, to control your focus is to be able to actually be able to ask the right questions. And number three, with a triad, you can just go Tony Robbins triad, go deep on this. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, you master this, your life will be different. And the third one is language, right? So we have to be able to watch what we say. We know that 70%, when we say negative things, we have a 70% higher chance of that happening, right? But also, is it true that we can unconsciously seduce ourselves into believing things that aren't true? Have you ever heard this before? Probably nobody said this before. I have no time, I'm too busy. Has anybody heard that before? And what tends to happen, right? And you know this, Bill, you're a smart man. What happens for a lot of people out there is what happens when we say we have no time or too busy, we unconsciously believe we have no time, so we can't get anything done. But here's a hot one right now. You've heard this, it's been around for a couple years. Even in the Philippines, I did a group for the Philippines. Even the Philippines, they say this. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Have you heard people say that before? I'm tired, I'm exhausted. When we say that, you get home from work, you're tired, exhausted. What's your chance of going to the gym? High or relatively low, right? So here's how it goes down, my friends. You always got to be able to monitor language, but here's how to bring it all together and perform at a high level to be able to get in the right state. You have to be able to always be able to check your physiology. This is a powerful state. This is a do it later state. This is let's make it happen. This let's hope it happens state, right? So number one, always be able to be aware of your physiology and be able to be aware of how you're feeling. Number two, when things don't go right, or when you want to get going, you can even ask a question like this. What's the highest and best use of my time? That's a great question to ask, right? To get things done. Always ask yourself the positive questions. Your mind will go positive and you will get things done. Very easy. All right, so here we go. State. So when we're going out there to sell, we're gonna go out there to be with your loved one, to go out there to be an amazing man, amazing human being. Number one is always be aware of your positive emotional states. Very, very good. So state's important. Second thing is very important to recognize to be a top performer and peak performer, like Jay said, is how can we recognize what is going on in here? What is our story? Do we have a story that, there's no leads out there, the rates are too high, there's too much competition, the better products out there? Or do we have the story that today I'm going to crush today? Today is the best day of my life. Today, no matter what happens, I'm going to find a way, I'm going to make way, because your identity for you is that is who you are, right? So number one is going to be able to have the right state, but also the right story. So the question I'll ask of everybody, simple question. So we're in a world today, as you guys know, where we can be able to Google, YouTube, Chat GPT, everything, and figure out what to do. So we all know perfectly how to be able to make money. We all know how to be able to probably have a better body, have abs. We all know how to have a better relationship. So why don't most of us in the world today walk around with six-pack abs, $1 million in the bank account, and the man or woman of their dreams? So the question would be this, and I want everybody maybe drop something in the chat box. What do you think could be an inner block or an inner story that some people may tell themselves why things don't work out, why they're not making the money, why they don't have the love, why they don't have the time, why they don't have the body? Do me a favor, someone drop something in the chat box. What do you think the story most people tell? What's up, Oliver? What's up, Julian? What's up, Alan? I'm not worth it. JC coming in hot, man. Think it already exists, so why bother? 100%. Thank you, Julian. I appreciate that. Give me some more. They don't have the right guidance. No mentorship. 100%. Felipe, thank you. What else? Not worth it. Good one, right? We'll put that up here real quick. Not worth it. Not worth it. Okay. Mentorship, you said. Mentorship. Custom to being average, no time. Good one. No time, average. We could say maybe distractions. We could say maybe Instagram reels, being honest, Facebook reels. All right. So no time, worth the effort, confident, low confidence. Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it. Low confidence. Okay. acceptance of past, 100% of past equals the future. So we could go on forever for these. We have fear of change, we have fear of success, we have fear of rejection, we have fear of judgment. But really what Tony Robbins says this, we have all these little things, but it comes down to two major things: fear of not being enough, or maybe fear of not being loved. And these things come up: the no time, the no energy, the not worth it. And some people call these lies. Some people call these stories. The Tony Robbins group, we have a very fancy term, man, follow along, very, very fancy. We call this our BS, which stands for our belief system. Very simple. So here's what we need to know. I know most of you guys probably know this stuff, but very, very important. I'll give you some knowledge today. So what we, as human beings, me and you, we're all belief-driven creatures. So what that simply means to you, a belief is this. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty that you or I have about something. But here's what we know about beliefs. Most of us on this call will die for beliefs. Most on this call will be able to die for a faith, a belief. Maybe even some people will fight for a belief in a sports team out there. Our beliefs are strong. And we have two beliefs that affect you every single day in your life. Pretty simple, but we got to get it. Number one is going to be these dream killers. We call these the negative belief systems, or the stories we tell ourselves over and over and over. Second belief system is what we call the empowering beliefs. That's where you wake up and you say, you know what, today, Alan, I'm going to crush today no matter what. Today, Oliver, I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to make it happen because that's who you are. Being that man that no matter what, you will find a way, you will figure it out because that's who you are. That's an empowering belief. But here's a takeaway for you today. You may want to be able to put this in your notes or put it somewhere in your mind. Very important. Most people in life will never be able to out-earn, outsell their current belief system. I'll say it one more time. Most people in life will never be able to outsell, out-earn, or even, Felipe, overachieve what they currently believe. And what a lot of people do is a pattern where they may go do one step forward and two step back. And truly, for most people, they come back to where they are time and time again. So what we need to know is this. We need to recognize the beliefs, and that is your job as a human being. Recognize them, bring them close, and guess what? As we know with fear, the closer you bring something, the less fearful it is. Most stuff we're afraid of is in a distance. You bring it close and actually understand it and get close to it and understand you can break through it. It's a very, very powerful experience. But we have to have that breakthrough. So I was working with a gentleman actually about a year ago, came up to me. He was actually a real estate investor, but he was actually doing real estate too. And he wanted to make some money with his real estate business. I was a real estate investment seminar. And he said, Scott, will you coach me for my business? And I get this all the time. And the first question I ask is, well, what's going on? And his name was John. John was an awesome dude from the DC, Virginia area. He goes, man, I got this. I've been in real estate for 3 years. I really want to be able to make some money. I made, 80,000 my first year. Second year, I made 100,000. This year, I make $200,000 in my real estate business. I said, John, what's going on? What's stopping you? He goes, well, the management doesn't support me. The leads aren't very good, and the rates are high. I said, John, that's BS. I don't believe it. I know 5 people in your brokerage right now making the money. I said, what's really going on? And here's what we know, guys. Usually when someone tells you why things aren't working, there's usually a belief under the belief that actually is the truth. He goes, Scott, I've never made $200,000 before in my life. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm really able to do it. I don't know if I'm worth it. Boom, that was it. So our friend John had a belief system, which a lot of people have this belief that runs through our mind. What do you think, guys? A couple of times a day? Or would you say many times, right? Many times, Felipe, right? 65,000 thoughts a day. Stanford says we have each day 65,000 thoughts over and over and over. And most of them are negative thoughts. So I'll show you how this works. I'm going to give you a formula now. And this is a cool formula. It's called a success cycle or pattern box. And the way to look at this team is this. If there's an area of your life where you may be stuck, or if there's an area of your life where you're not getting the results you want, it's a pretty simple formula. For most of us, it's not a resource or a skill set issue. It's a what issue? A mindset issue, right? So here's how I'll break this down for you. So you can see this behind me. So if you want to play along today, the bottom left will be a word called results. And if you could, team, real quick, I want you to write down what would be your number one goal So far, 2025. You can put a financial goal. You don't have to share it. All good. Put your number one goal in for results. Could be buy a house, investment property. Could be make 250, $500,000, $1 million. Our result over here. Let's put 250K for today. Over here is going to be a word called action. Very easy. So we got results, action. Up here is a great word called potential. Potential. How many people out there in their heart of hearts, give me some out there, give me a thumbs up. How many people in their heart of hearts know that you have more power and more potential inside of you than currently shown up in the world? Anybody know that to be true? Everybody should have a thumbs up for that one, right? 100%. And up here is going to be belief. Belief for story, right? So our friend John, I'll show you how this works. Our friend John had this belief system that, you know what, that the market, the rates are high and the interest rates are high and there's no competition, but he had the belief inside of him that really that he couldn't make that $200,000 because he's never done it before. So picture this, any high performer out there where they're getting up, getting ready for the day, maybe going to the gym, maybe being able to plan their day and think about what they need to do. But in the back of their mind, as subconscious mind, they have that story where things are not going well or things aren't going to go well, or there's some limitations that go through their mind. For John, it was, I can't do it. I've never done it before. So with that negative belief system, do you think out there, as a high performer with a negative belief, do you think that person would tap into, what do you think out there, more power or maybe less power? Someone give me less power out there, 100%. Thank you, JC. Less power. And then guess what? Showing up a less version of yourself is going to be more action, or guess what, team? You got it. Less action. But guess what happens here? The results. And I remember John told me he would get so frustrated. He would say, see, I told you it's not me. Tough market. And what we do unconsciously as human beings, if we're not getting what we want, we unconsciously look for outside resources to blame to feel better about ourselves for the moment, instead of being able to deal with the truth. So what happened for our friend John unconsciously, he created what we call a reverse or a negative success cycle, where he would wake up every single day with a negative belief, less power, less action, less results. And he was doing this for about 3 years of his business. The pain, the frustration, the disappointment from a seeking belief. So I could ask you, can you think about one thing that you may tell yourself that doesn't serve you, that probably isn't the truth, but holds you back? And when you think about that one thing, I'll ask you, my friend, is this new or is it old? I'll ask you again, how long has it been around? But more importantly, what has it cost you? But more importantly, what will it cost you next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, the same over and over. I have 5 cousins, very close to my cousins. I have one cousin, she's a female. Her name, we call her Someday, because she's always, every January 1st, she says, this year, I'm going to buy a car. This year, I'm going to get a real estate investment. This year, I'm going to get in shape. And she always says, I'm going to do it someday. And I asked her this year, and I love her to death. I said, from a place of love and respect, her name's Anne. I said, from a place of love and respect, when are you going to be able to do what you want to do? You say someday, someday leads to a town called nowhere. We heard that before. We all know that to be true. The only thing that will ever stop you your whole life from getting everything you want, personally, professionally, be it the woman, the job, the income, the travel, the accolades, the contribution, is a belief system that was given to you as a little kid that is bullshit. It's not true, but we created it. But here's the good thing. Someone, let me ask you out there, who's the one person that can change all this? 100%, right? It is up to us, Joe, up to us. But here's the deal. Let's say we woke up with a new belief. There's always a way for success. I will find a way. I will figure it out. I will go until, because that is who you are as a man. You don't settle. You go above and beyond. You make it happen. You're resourceful. You find a way. With that psychology, with that belief, let's plug it into our formula here. With the belief, very simple. The better belief, you know you'll tap into more power, more potential. More potential, you'll take more action. But here's the good part. More action, better result. You'll make the money. But here's the cool thing. Making the money is awesome. Getting the body is amazing. But the part that makes you proud, the part that actually supports you and inspires people around you is the part that you did your best and you can do better. Who out there thinks they can do better in life? Anybody think they can do better in life? Can't we all do better? When you're fulfilling your potential, you're taking the action, you're aligned. You say you're going to do it and you do it. That's called alignment. When you do that over and over, the power that you will generate, the people you will inspire will go endless. So back to our formula. Okay. Straight story, strategy. Strategy is simply going to be what we're doing. It could be making phone calls. It could be doing a presentation. It could be showing up for our husband or wife. Doesn't matter out there. It could be showing up at the gym. That'd be a strategy. The first thing we're going to do is make sure we get in the right state. Music, movement, posture, also our focus, get in the right state, power questions. Write that one down tonight, put it into your life. Having the right state. As you know, the smart person, when you're feeling good, do you think your story is going to be better? Is that fair to say? It would be a good story, probably not a bad story. With a good state, good story, good strategy. Let's hear it, guys. What can you do? Can we do what? You can do whatever the heck you want to do. Making some sort of sense, right? So, my friends, the game is this. It's an outer. You got to know what to do. You got to know how to block and tackle. You got to know how to be able to sell. You got to know how to be able to, follow a syntax, follow a system, 100%. We got to know how to market and sell. But the game is this. How can you build yourself up from the inside out? It's not an outside in game. It's an inside out. Working on number one, your energy, your physiology, your state, and always getting yourself in a great state. Get yourself in a great state, monitor your psychology and your thinking, break it through those beliefs. You can do anything. That's all I got, Jay.
That was a great handoff. I love it. That was like a mic drop. I think all the guys on the call are like, whoa, that was a lot to consume all at once. But gentlemen, lions on the call, take it from somebody that has the background and experience of peak performance. Straight to the punch, straight to the call. There's no BS. There's no fluff. There's no momentum or what do we call it? Motivation. This is straight to the punch action results from, and again, Scott, maybe I'm just going to ask you a quick question right now before I kind of go in. I have like a whole page of notes. I'm sitting here writing all my notes down as well too, but just understanding this, like from yourself as well too, like you just gave so much knowledge, but I want the guys on the call also to understand somebody that you've learned from, somebody that is a very, very famous man himself, Tony Robbins. Like, what is Tony Robbins doing to get peak state? Like you mentioned these things in terms of the physiology, the focus, the language, but just give us some insights, some deep dark secrets of what Tony does in order to get in front of 10,000 people or to do what he does best.
Yeah, 100%. So if you don't, I mean, some people maybe under 35 may not know Tony Robbins. People over 35 know Tony Robbins pretty much. Tony has been the pioneer. He's been around for 47 years. He actually has 114 businesses that generate about 6 billion in revenue. He has a 3-year-old daughter now. He also has given back last year. We actually fed over 1 billion people, teamed up with Feeding America, who provided over 1 billion meals. That's pretty crazy, right, JC? Pretty insane. He started out 18 years old feeding one family, and it kind of built from there. And then now we have a goal getting to where we get 1 billion a year, and now getting to a goal where we do 10 billion a year around the world. That's the goal. So what Tony does, he actually does what is called a power move, and we all have one, maybe consciously or unconsciously, and that's what I acquire too. So, and that's something that would be very advantageous. So a power move is simply a very intense move of your physiology. I'll show you mine. Mine's simply my power move, right? And a power move for me and Tony and for a lot of people, probably Jay has one as well, is simply an anchor to be able to bring in a feeling. For me, a feeling of confidence and energy. It's almost an anchor to say, let's go take some action. Let's make some calls. Let's go get it done. Let's get going. So that is something you definitely should have in your tool belt as well, some sort of power move to get you in that great state. But however, it takes time. Is this not something happens overnight? It's a lot of repetition, like everything in life. It's repetition.
No, I love that. I love that so much. And everything that you've been saying today, like when you say the 3 S's, I love the 3 S's: state, story, strategy. Because you have to get yourself into that state. You got to own the story, and that allows you to have the strategy. I think that's incredible. So, gentlemen, what I want to do here is, because if we got Scott for a little bit, a couple more moments here, I want to actually open this up to some Q&A. I want to do this right away. Usually we're going to go into something, but I just want to actually just open it up to a little bit of Q&A. So I want you guys to have a question or two. Put your hands up, do what you got to do to kind of just get in. JC will unmute you if you have any questions specifically for Scott himself. But before I get to that, while you guys are raising your hands, I got Jeff coming in. Jeff, good to see you, my guy. Good to see you as well. I just want to say though, like just thinking about that, some of the limits, even me, that I hold on to myself. Like some of the things that you mentioned today about getting yourself in check, to using that physiology, even physiology. Sometimes we escape on this as men, specifically escape on this because we just want to be just that brute. We just want to be that bored. We just want to walk around like we're all tough and everything like that. We have this mindset because that's the way we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to rub some dirt in it, be a man and all this stuff. But when you start to understand your state is more than just being a man standing up straight, your state is the way that you energize. It's the way that you can listen to that song on the road and being like, boom, or just that pump up. I know Tony Robbins does the trampoline sometimes before he jumps on stage. You know, we've seen the back end of that. And it's just like that energy infused is the way that you can really take your peak mental performance to that next level. God bless, gentlemen. God bless, Lions. God bless, Kings. I will see you next week, 8 p.m. EST, every Thursday. Take care.